So let's talk about arrays in Java. So when you want to declare an array is a data type that holds several values in one data type in one place so that you can have access to them. For instance, if you wanted to have a byte array, you write byte, you put square brackets, then you give the name of the byte array. You could just, when you leave it out like this, you've created a variable, but you haven't given it any value. There are two ways you can give value to an array. Two ways you can give values to an array. The first way is using the new keyword. Let's call this one byte R1. So if you use this first one, to create the array, you use the new keyword. And how do you do that? You write new, then you write the type of array which is a byte. Then you put square brackets. When you put square brackets, you put the number of elements or the size of the array in there. The second way is to use literal way, which you use curly braces, and you put the values you want in the array right there. So we've created two arrays having a length of 3. So this is using the new keyword. This is in a literal way in which you write out exactly what you're trying to say. So if you look at these two arrays, the truth is that if you were to print them, if you were to print these arrays, they don't really give you the values in the array, just give you the memory address that the arrays are starting with. So here you print it like when you save it, and we try to print it. So this is the memory address. It's like a number in base 16, hexadecimal number, that is used to write out addresses at this address. That's where the first array is located. This second array is located at this address, and that address is the likely memory location of the first element. These things in here are called elements. You can get them by indices, using some kind of index. This first element has an index of 0. The second element has an index of 1. This third element has an index of 2. So if you wanted to get this first element, you use square braces this way. For the first element, you put a 0. If you were to save that, you get the first element. For the second element or the third element, you put a 2. Third element is minus 6. For this first one, you haven't given any values, but they have since it's a number, bytes are numbers as integers. The Java machine of Java virtual machine, when you declare or you create an array and give no values to them, depending on the type of the array, default values are given to that array. For numbers like bytes and shorts and ints, the default elements are zeros. So zeros are given to this array. So the first element is 0, second one is 0, the third one is 0, because you didn't give anything to. For if we were to create a char array, and we were to create the array, the default elements in the array will be empty strings. If the array were made of objects, we'll talk about objects and classes later on, the default element will be nulls. So how do you put elements into this array? You could attach curly braces at the back and put your elements there. But before then, let's check to see what comes up when we try to print this byte, the first element of the byte. You see that it will give a 0. So it gave us a 0. If you wanted to give elements to the byte array, you can put the braces at the back and give the values to it. So when you do that now, the first element is a 7. Okay, well, let's just let's not do this, because I think what you should do is you can say byte r, you put square brackets, you equate it to the first element you need to be there, then you repeat it with different indices, with the other two indices, the other two indexes that you need to use. For the want index, perhaps you give it maybe something like 9, and for the stored index maybe you use 17. So when you do that, and so we were trying to print the third, okay, because we use 0, what is the second one that is used, because this is the latest one, so we're supposed to put a 2 here. So when you print 0, it should give you 7. When you print the 0th index, it should give you 7. So that is how you declare and use arrays. So in the memory system, in the computer system, arrays are arranged in a contiguous manner. Contiguous, which means they are arranged side by side. So if this one has a memory address of 0, this one has a memory address of 10, this one has a memory address of 11, this one has a memory address of 12 in the memory of the computer system. But these rules may not be exactly the way that I'm saying them right now in different computer systems. So that's how you declare, and the basics of using arrays. There will be more on arrays later on when we need to use them for something else.